Are your human customer service agents really human? Think about that. Are you allowing them to be human? Or are you forcing them to be Formfills? When most customers still want to talk to a human, why are you purposefully taking away the human element? Why not just get an AI voicebot if you're going to make your flesh and blood employees act like them? Customers already say they prefer human interaction. Why are we denying them what they want? Because it's cheaper? Oh well. Welcome to CX Riot Radio. Now roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of CX Riot Radio, where we talk about customer experience and stuff, still in a hyper-caffeinated state. How you all doing out there? You doing great? You doing grand? You doing okay? Awesome. Glad to hear it. If your answer was anything other than that, well, I'm either happy or sad for you. I don't know. So, before we begin today's episode, we are going to, I'm going to ask you to do the usual. What's the usual, you might be asking, as if you were new to the game? Well, the usual is, stuff like subscribing, reviewing, rating, liking, commenting, and sharing the show, so we can make the show grow. That's right. Now, I'm David. I'm the host here, and I am the caffeinated CXO. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a nice title? You too can make up your own title like that and launch a podcast. It's fine. I'm a white guy in my 40s. We all have podcasts. Come join us. We're not exclusive. It's not an exclusive club. You can be any demographic and start a podcast. You don't have to be a white guy in your 40s. No. That's crazy. That's crazy to even think that. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that I've been kicking around, and last week's episode was a throwback to one of my first episodes where I first talked about this way back in 2021, right? And that is the botification of customer service. And more specifically, the botification of human customer service, where the human customer service workers are forced to follow scripts, forced to act like order takers or form fills rather than being the human being they are. And this is a big problem for a couple of reasons. One, agent burnout, right? Nobody likes repeating themselves over and over and over and over and over again, reading complex legalese and complex scripts where if you have any deviation from, you get dinged on your QA scores, which are probably going off transcripts now rather than someone listening to the call. So there's that, right? Any deviation off of the norm, you're called in, put on a PIP, stuff like that, right? It's not cool. It's not cool at all. So, human beings have to be allowed to be human beings. They have to be allowed to show personality. And as long as that personality fits the brand image, let them fly. As long as the work is getting done and the outcomes are good, let them talk. Let them do their thing. Yeah, if you have stuff on your calls that you need to get out, right? If you need to cover, they need to say, cool. How much of that stuff really needs to be verbatim, right? As long as it's clear, as long as the customer understands it, have a little wiggle room for some personality. Don't let your human customer service agents be a form fill. Don't let your human customer service agents be simply an order taker. Provide customer service. Provide personalization. You can have AI stuff on in the background. Little agent assist cards, little personalization messages, little, hey, you should say this kind of thing. That's an agent assist card, but whatever. But one of the worst things that a customer could ever say to one of your live human customer service agents is this a real person? Ugh. Usually this is said as a joke, right? But sometimes the customer simply can't tell because they're maybe expecting an AI voice bot. Now, if you've opted to go down the AI voice bot route as the primary communication, then, well, that's cool. We ain't talking about you. We're talking about the humans while there's still humans around. All right? So there's some stats that I wanted to bring up regarding this because this is big, right? And I know AI's lost a lot of its hype in the last couple of months, right? Everybody's kind of getting worn out hearing about it. Even though it is really cool and I use like things like Perplexity like every day. So it is what it is. I can't draw worth crap and I don't have the extra funds. Remember, I do this for free to make really cool drawings for thumbnails. So it is what it is. I use that too. Thank you, Bing and ChatGPT. So, but here's a few stats that I wanted to go off and okay, so 50% of consumers feel positive about using AI to engage with a business. 50%. Half of them are like, yeah, okay, cool, we can do this. The other half, not so much. Half, right off the bat, are like, I'd rather talk to a human, you know? But the interesting thing on this is if you contrast that with this other thing that goes hand in hand with it, 91% of business leaders feel positive about using AI to engage with customers. You know what that tells me? You know what that tells me? Squirrels and lemurs, boys and girls, ghosts and ghouls. Well, that tells me that maybe a lot of business leaders aren't talking to their customers or not listening to their customers or looking at those little surveys that they put out to their customer base, like NPS, CSAT, feedback surveys, right? So that's what that shows. They're in their own little world being fed what their executives are telling them, right? No, the AI is all the rage. People love it. People can't even tell the difference, they say. And the business leader's like, well, we can save some money with this. Let's do it. Screw those people. Let's get some bots and they don't call out sick. Except when, like, you know, ChatGPT goes down for hours at a time or something. But, okay, so some other things here. According to First Orion Retail Survey Report, Consumers, by and large, still prefer talking on the phone to a human call center agent for both non-urgent and urgent issues. The urgent issue does not surprise, right? It does not surprise me in the least that they'd want to speak to a human with an urgent issue. Okay? The non-urgent, pretty surprising, right? Because, and I can only have like a sore sample of one here, right? If I don't have to call somewhere, I won't. I've spent a lot of my life on the phone. I don't need to do it in my off hours. All right. If there's a chat bot or even a live chat, right, or an AI voice bot, I'll scratch that. If there's a online self-serve option where I don't have to talk, I'm all about it, right? I'm not going to call somewhere and be like, oh, okay, I'll play around with the IVR with lipstick. No. I'll do it online. But when you take into account, I don't know, reality, most people don't like that, right? Most people want to talk to a human, regardless of urgency. So now, when you break it down by age and generations, it gets a little bit more different, okay? So 62% of millennials and 75% of Generation Z, the Zoomers, prefer self-service almost all the time, even when they have an option of contacting customer support. Now, that contrasts to 19% of baby boomers and 43% of Generation X who report they would do the same. So, Generation X and the baby boomers and a sizable amount of millennials all prefer human customer support. Cool. And about 25% of the Zoomers all prefer human customer support. So, and then it gets a little bit more different because a lot of people honestly don't mind AI tools in the background, right? You know, it's listening, it's doing agent scorecards, but most respondents, 77%, said that when engaging with customer service, they'd rather interact with a human using AI in the background than a fully automated chatbot. And 22%, this is the part I found surprising, and 22% said that they were uncomfortable with a customer service agent using AI behind the scenes of a call in any way. That's nuts. 22% would rather you not be using any AI at all, ever. Alright, but 77%, cool. They're cool with human beings with AI on in the background. Alright? And so, additionally, it goes on, 39% said that talking with a chatbot or automated system is worse than talking with a real human. 33% said is better. Okay. And then Cogito said, while AI tools are seen as valuable for streamlining tasks behind the scenes, a clear preference exists for human customer service agents. Net, AI is best seen as a tool to empower agents, not replace them. So that leads to two questions. That I have. The first question is, why are so many companies so hot on replacing their human customer service agents with AI voice bots? If customers don't like them, right? If customers don't want to deal with that, why are they doing it? And I understand the cost thing, right? But sometimes you have to look beyond that and look into the future a little bit. And I know the AI voice bot proponents, vendors, would say the same thing. You got to look into the future, right? But if consumers don't like them and the people that are coming up don't want to talk on the phone anyway, right? They'd rather do things online and do it themselves. then what's the point? Right? The second question I have is, why are so many companies turning their human customer service agents into what's essentially a voice bot, right? With verbatim scripts. I never thought I'd see those come back. Or just form fills, no personality, nothing. The call is simply a transaction. There's no personalization. There's no empathy. There's nothing like that, because they're just boom, 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 boom. And now I agree with the fact that, like, empathy over the phone most of the time is just bullshit. They don't really care that you're going through that issue. This is the 18th time today they've heard someone going through this issue, and they're only an hour and a half into their shift, right? Now, that's not true in all cases. Some people are much better at expressing and feeling empathy than others, than the majority. But for the most part, right, it's this scripted empathy statement like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you feel that way, blah, 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 instead of actually putting themselves into the customer's shoes, and that's an issue, right? Reading an empathy statement off because you have to is trash. An AI voice bot can do that, right? It'll sound weird, but it can do that. But, so the thing is, like I said before, and I'm going to end this soon because I'll just repeat myself, let your human customer service agents be human. Bonus points if they speak with the same accent and vernacular as your target customer base. But that's a whole other topic for a whole other episode. So I'm going to call it there. Let your human employees be human. Use AI to augment and enhance the customer experience. Don't let it take over the customer experience, because the customers don't want that experience. And that's what it boils down to, right? This whole big customer experience, CX, CX, customer experience is great, right? It's something that we should all take part in, right? Because customer experience is important. But you know what's more important than customer experience? The customer's experience. And there is a difference. I'll see you next week. Bye.